Welcome once again, everyone, to San Diego Sports Talk, the Coach John Quintero Show. We thank you very, very much. I asked you last time out if we could work on getting to 1,000 subscribers, and well, we went well over 1,000 subscribers. I think now, heck, well, let's go for 2,000 subscribers. What do you have to say about that? And I want to remind you, when you do tune into San Diego Sports Talk, the John Quintero Show, make sure that you hit your notifications so you don't miss any of our episodes. And our next episode after today will come down early on Friday morning, July 5th. We'll have one. We'll crank that up. It ought to be up and running by about 10 o'clock. We're going to take July 4th off and do some family things, but certainly appreciate all the great comments that we've heard doing these podcasts the last few weeks, and we're going to keep them rolling. Boy, we're going to get into the Padres. Boy, the Padres really finished the month of June playing some outstanding baseball. They got beat on Sunday by Boston 4-1, but Padres are playing great baseball. They finished the month 15-13, but really closed it out on a high note. With the loss on Sunday, it snapped their 5-game winning streak. And, man, in that winning streak, they're playing some outstanding ball and just crushing the baseball, absolutely crushing the baseball. Good pitching. The bullpen's been pretty good. But they also finished the month winning 9 out of 11. 9 of their last 11 games the Padres have won. And now they're sitting 4 games over 500. They've got Monday off, and then they go in and take on the struggling, and I mean struggling, Texas Rangers, Bruce Bochy's ball club. You talk about injuries, and we know the Padres have all kinds of injuries right now, but Bochy's ball club really banged up, and they're really scuffling. They're scuffling hard. So, it's always, as I say in baseball, and really in sports in general, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And I think the Padres, the way they're playing right now, they're going to be taking on the Texas Rangers at a very, very good time. But nonetheless, Padres played great baseball the entire series in Boston. They got beat on Sunday 4-1. Matt Waldron didn't have one of his better outings. There's no doubt about that. But his prior 9 outings, Matt Waldron was absolutely fantastic. And the knuckleball, and I don't know if the elements played a part, the humidity. He was very concerned. He wore the long undershirt on Sunday to try to keep that perspiration getting from his down into his wrist and into his hand, but he really had a hard time controlling that knuckleball. Made some mistakes. Rafael Devers got him in that first inning for a 2-run bomb. Jaron Duran, who's having a really nice year for Boston, he got him later in the ball game. Matt Waldron also had a pitch that got away from Kyle Higashioka that went for a pass ball. Brought home a run as well. But nonetheless, Padres are playing good. You can't sit here and really complain about a whole lot. I mean, considering Musgrove, by the way, got placed on Friday. He's going on the 60-day IL. So if Joe comes back this year, I'll be surprised. I haven't been happy with Joe's health all year long. I was the one guy number one, I know a little bit about pitching, first of all, and mechanics and how guys are looking out on the mound, body language, stuff like that. And I was never convinced, even in spring training, that Joe was healthy. And he's been on the IL twice. Now that elbow's barking. He is throwing on flat ground in the outfield. Threw again on Friday in Boston a little bit. But again, if he comes back, great. Darvish supposed to have made that start last week. That didn't happen. We'll see where that goes. As far as the pitching and tech, I don't know who the Padres are pitching. They didn't announce anything after the game on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see about Vasquez. He got banged up. He took that ball off the forearm on Friday night. He was pitching pretty well and got driven out of the ball game. That ball ricocheted off his right forearm in the 5th inning. It's too bad because they had a big lead. He probably qualified for the win if he had got 3 more outs. But now, that's up in the air. They may move a guy up with an off day. We'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, Padres are playing great baseball, and you got Bogarts out and Tatis out. You got a lot of missing parts, but this team is playing great. I mean, they're getting great contributions from everybody. Everybody's doing their job more than anything else. I will tell you this, if Tatis is going to be out, like they're saying, possibly until after the All-Star break or maybe even longer, I think the Padres are going to have to figure out exactly what they want to do in the outfield. They may have to go out and make a minor trade to get not necessarily an everyday guy in here, but I don't know if Bryce Johnson, quite frankly, is the answer. That's the best, I guess, they have down at the AAA level. Maybe Peralta, even though David is not average-wise hit for a whole lot, a little over 200 right now. He has had some good at-bats and hit some hard line-outs that, would have probably gotten him up around 240 or 250. But he's not getting a lot of playing time. They brought Bryce Johnson up. He's getting the bulk of the playing time right now. And defensively, I think he's pretty good. Offensively, I think it's a challenge. They got him hitting, in that number 9 spot where he belongs. And when they get into a critical situation, they'll get him out of there. But, getting back to Matt Waldron a little bit, Waldron, just had kind of a rough day. He kind of had a rough day, but again, he's been pitching fantastic. And I think he'll be even better next time out. He gave up 4 runs on Sunday. Prior to that, he had not given up 4 or more runs. You'd have to go back to May 5th against the Arizona Diamondbacks where he gave up 6 runs. I mean, he's been fantastic. He's been really one of the glue guys of that pitching staff to this point. And when you think about his first couple of starts early in the year, you wondered if he was going to make it, not only through the month of April, but if he'd even see May with the Padres. He's doing a great job. And being very honest, I really enjoy watching him pitch. He had a rough one on Sunday. No question about it. You look at his total numbers: 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and gave up those 2 home runs. But I'll take him any day of the week. He's doing a good job. When he can locate that fastball, he can use that knuckleball to his advantage. Today it just didn't work out. So we'll see where it goes next time out for Matt Waldron. Okay, we got to talk about Jackson Merrill. This guy is absolutely amazing right now. Amazing what he's getting done. I was looking at some of his numbers. On the year, Jackson Merrill's hitting 294. Now, right now, he's playing as good as anybody on the Padres. And you know what? I was thinking about this last night. I was sitting around after the game on Saturday, and I'm going, Profar's going to get in the All-Star game, and he deserves to get in the All-Star game. Tatis was working his way to the All-Star game. Manny had a big month. And you look at a lot of the third basemen in the National League. Arenado's not having a good year. Dodgers really don't have a regular third baseman. You got Matt Chapman in San Francisco. It's got the big, reputation as a defender. He's starting to hit a little bit. But, I'm looking around baseball and I'm going, yeah, and you know what? Even though Manny got off to a rough start, he got into the month of June and he'd go crazy. I mean, he hit 333 for the month of June. Manny Machado, and doing a great job, had a big series in Boston. So maybe he's in the running. But how about Jackson Merrill? Does anybody in baseball really know all about this guy? Well, if they don't, they're finding out in a hurry. He's got to be one of the leading candidates. Now, I know the leading candidate is Paul Skeens, the pitcher in Pittsburgh. And, I had one scout tell me a week ago that they saw him as an amateur. He's from out here in Southern California. He went to Air Force, then he went to LSU. But he was a catcher and a pitcher out here in Orange County. And somebody told me, a scout told me, that Paul Skeens is the best pitching prospect he's ever seen. And he's hit the ground running at the big league level. And even though he didn't start the year in the big leagues, he's probably the odds-on favorite right now to win the National League Rookie of the Year. But Jackson Merrill's got to be there. I mean, this guy's been amazing. I mean, everything this kid has had to learn in a short time. I mean, he came to camp thinking, hey, I'm going to play shortstop a little bit. I'm going to probably end up being in left field if I can make the team because the Padres hadn't signed Profar. He goes to left for about, a cup of coffee, a day and a half at spring training. They go, hey, we need a center fielder. What do you think about playing center field? The guy's been magnificent. You watch him play center field this weekend in Boston. I mean, he just looks so at home. He looks so at home. And he went crazy with the bat. I mean, I totaled up some numbers. For the month for June, he hit 320. He hit 320 for the entire month of June with 9 home runs. I mean, seriously, that tied a Padres June rookie record. The guy that held it, Ryan Schimpf. Remember Ryan Schimpf? Well, Ryan Schimpf had a short little stay here in San Diego. Jackson Merrill's going to have a long, lengthy stay in San Diego. And this kid is the real deal. He really is the real deal. And you got to kind of wonder, depending on what happens with Hassan Kim, Will Jackson Merrill maybe move back into the infield next year? That's going to be very interesting. I don't see the Padres re-signing Hassan Kim unless it's a team-friendly contract. But the other numbers, how about at Fenway Park this weekend? Jackson Merrill, 4 for 10, 2 homers, 2 doubles, and 5 RBIs. This is a ballpark he went to as a kid with his dad. Mom was a big Baltimore Orioles fan. He was born in Maryland. But they used to go up to Fenway Park, and he liked Dustin Pedroia, and one of his other favorite players was Xander Bogaerts. Now it's his teammate. How cool is that? That's really cool. And watching that kid play, it looks like he's having a great time, really enjoying it. But, I would caution everyone, we got to pump the brakes a little bit. And the reason I say that, he is a rookie, and he's playing a lot. And he's playing very intense baseball. He is very intense. You come to August and September, he's never played this many games at this type of level, and the intensity level, the travel that you throw in. The minor leagues can be tough, but playing at this level is very difficult. And when you haven't been through a 162 game schedule, all of a sudden you feel like you got an extra 30 pounds on you. Your bat speed slows down. Some guys will go to a little bit lighter bat. They won't take as many swings in pregame. He's going to have to monitor himself because he may hit a wall. And I think it might be very important for Mike Schilt to, find a time if you can to get him off his feet. Just give him that extra day off. Like they're not playing on Monday. Maybe give him a Tuesday off and just let him have a 48 hours to, exhale a little bit. But I think I'd probably wait until he cools off a little bit because right now he's hotter than a baker's apron. You got to love that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Michael King's performance on Saturday. Now, here's a guy, one of the guys that came in the Juan Soto deal. 29 years of age. Had been both a starter and a reliever. Primarily a reliever, and the Yankees made him a starter last year. He's doing a great job. I mean, he went out on Saturday at Fenway Park, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, gave up that home run to Jern Duran, improved to 6-5, dropped his ERA down to 3.61. Playing great, doing a marvelous job. Pitches well, holds runners well, really worked on that, feels his position well. I mean, just a nice all-around athlete out on the mound. Good team guy, hard-working guy. I really like what I see out of Michael King. And again, he's a guy that, hasn't thrown 150 innings at the big league level. And he's another guy you got to be a little concerned about where he's going the second half of the season. But I got to tell you, folks, I haven't been this optimistic on a Padre ball club, the way they're going about their business in a number of years. I mean, you could go back to 2 years ago when they got to the NLCS and they got hot at the right time. But this team, I don't know about you, there have been some Padre team. Last year's team wasn't fun to watch. There were times in April and May this team wasn't fun to watch. But now it seems like everybody's kind of got their bearings. Everybody's kind of hitting the ground running right now. Mike Schultz letting these guys play. He's not over-managing. Done, I think, a good job with the pitching staff at this point in time. This team's a fun team to watch. But their margin for error is very small. It really, they don't have a lot of depth. And if they suffer any more injuries to the starting staff or a key guy in the bullpen, they're going to be in dire straits. But right now, hey, they lost on Sunday, and, you're doing, damn, they could have swept the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. Well, they didn't get it done. But again, turn the page, have a nice off day in Texas, up in Arlington, Texas on Monday, and come out against a team that's really struggling in the Texas Rangers. Get back home. You got some interesting games when you come back home. You got Arizona for a 3-game series. Then you get another off day. And then you got Seattle that right now is leading the American League West, our natural rival. I always get a kick out of that. So, Padres are doing good. They're hanging in there. Starting on Sunday, they're number 2 wild card in the National League. I mean, you stay at 4 games over 500, you're going to get in the playoffs because the teams behind you, everybody's scuffling. I mean, if the Padres could go on another 4 or 5 game win streak, get to 9, 10 games over 500, you're sitting in great shape. I mean, really, you're sitting in great. You could almost go 500 the rest of the year. Once you get to 10 games over 500, you could go 500 the rest of the year and probably still be a wild card. But I have zero complaints on this Padre ball club. In fact, I'm very proud of this ball club. Very proud of this ball club right now. Okay, one of the things I wanted to talk about, we always talk about the Padre farm system. And a couple of things. Number one, we've got some really talented guys in our farm system. But the three top guys, numbers-wise, are struggling. And unless you really see them, I mean, when you hear their numbers, you're going to say, "Oh my God, what are these guys doing down there? Are they working? Well, what's going on?" Because whether it's Ethan Salas, Robbie Snelling, or Dylan Lesko, all their numbers are abysmal, absolutely abysmal, and they're not even bad; they're abysmal. I'm going to share those with you right now. But again, they're all young players, and they're. It's not easy, folks. It's not easy. I keep telling you, it is so hard to make it to the big leagues. I mean, everybody out there, and these guys, everybody knows who they are, and they're gunning for them every time they either take the mound or come in the batter's box. But all three of these guys, the first half, had a rough go. And I'll start in order. I'm going to start with the number 3 prospect first, Dylan Lesko, 6'2", 195, 20 years of age. Drafted in 2022, first round, had Tommy John surgery. Recovered in 2022 and started to pitch last year a little bit in 2023. And this year, things are not going well for him. So far, he's pitching in Fort Wayne and really been a struggle. He pitched Saturday night, took the loss against the Dayton Dragons. He went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, good outing, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. But overall, Dylan Lesko's made 13 starts in high A ball, 55 2/3 innings, 42 hits, 35 earned runs, 41 walks, 11 hit batters, and 62 strikeouts. To this point, his record is 1-6 with a 5.66 ERA. And one of the things, though, that I think we all have to be cognizant, if you just look at those numbers and say, "Oh, those are terrible." Well, his command is terrible. He's a young guy trying to learn to pitch. Now, when you come back from Tommy John, the last thing that comes is your accuracy. You're just trying to get out there in between your ears and throw the ball and hope your arm doesn't hurt again. But you watch guys, they'll throw hard, but they don't have the command. So we're going to give Dylan Lesko a little bit of a mulligan. We'll see where it goes. As the year goes on, it should definitely get better. Man, he's had 11 guys. I mean, guys got to be going up there with body armor on the way he's been hitting guys. 41 walks and 11 hit batters so far. 62 strikeouts. When he gets the ball over the plate, he's been pretty good. A couple of other notes on him. Hitters are batting only .219 against him, but he's got a whip because of all the walks of 1.49. So when he gets the ball over the plate, guys aren't hitting him, but he's either striking them out or walking them. So that has to get better. Okay, the Padres number 2 prospect. Now, here's a guy that I heard early in the year. People that are uninformed are going, "Oh, bring up Robbie Snelling. Bring up Robbie Snelling." I'm not bringing up Robbie Snelling. He's number 2 prospect and one of the top prospects in baseball. But right now, 6'3", 210, 20 years of age, having a tough go in Double-A. How about 1-8 and a 6.49 ERA? How about that? Last start lasted only an inning and 2/3 against his opponent. 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, a strikeout. On the season, 13 starts, 61 innings, 74 hits. And that's a pitcher's league, by the way. 74 hits in 61 innings, 47 runs, 44 earned, 27 walks, 49 strikeouts. Texas League hitters batting .306 against Snelling right now in a whip of 1.66. He's got to get it back together. Now, he's a left-hander. Lesko's a right-hander. Snelling's a left-hander, 20 years of age. A lot of times left-handers, for whatever reason, they develop a little bit later. So we're going to pump the brakes on Robbie Snelling right now. And then the last guy that, people thought, "Oh, man, they may bring this guy up sometime in 2024. They're not going to bring up Ethan Salas. Ethan Salas isn't even hitting 200 in high A ball right now. In fact, he got over 200, then went over and went back under 200, but he's had a hard time getting to 200 all year long. Ethan Salas, the number 1 prospect and one of the top prospects in baseball, but the Padres' number 1 pick. 18 years of age, 6'1", 185. Number one prospect in the Padre organization. Left-handed hitter at Fort Wayne, high A ball. 229 at bats, a 197 average. Does have 11 doubles, 2 triples, and a homer and 24 RBIs. Struck out 65 times in 229 at bats. That's really not that bad. You know what? A little over 25% of the time. That's not all that bad, but it is high A ball. 304 on base, 275 slug, 579 OPS. Guess he's doing okay behind the plate, but they're expecting him to be one of those guys that can launch the baseball. Again, he's 18 years of age. Got to give him time. Last year, Padres moved him all over the road map. He was in the Arizona League for a cup of coffee, went to Elsinore, went to Fort Wayne for about a week and a half, went to Double-A because they wanted him to grow with that pitching staff. Well, I'm not sure that behooved him, to be honest with you. You know, it's okay to stay at one level the entire year and put up numbers. I like to see guys put up numbers. I don't know about you, but I don't believe in promotion just to promote guys. I want to see guys put up numbers and earn that promotion. Just because you sign for a lot of money and you're thought of, you got to still go out and produce. But all three of these guys are extremely talented baseball players. They just need time. They need time, and the Padres need to give them time. I was talking with a scout the other night, and he was sharing with me the frustration he has with baseball overall right now. All the minor league teams, 42 minor league teams got wiped out a couple of years ago. There's not enough room for pitchers to get innings and batters to get at bats. And it's really stymieing the development long-term of a lot of baseball players. And it's also taken away the opportunity for a lot of young ball players to get an opportunity to play professional baseball. There are a lot of guys that probably deserve to at least get their feet wet in professional baseball because there are only so many teams now. A lot of guys don't ever get that opportunity. You never know who can develop. But there's a lot of talented guys that don't even get signed, and their careers are over. They go to the independent league and try to, show what they can do there, and an organization will give them a chance. The development program in Major League Baseball now and the organization is not good. Some organizations do a better job of developing players than others, but the problem is there's just not enough innings to go around for position players and for pitchers to log those innings and get better. Really sad, and it's going to come back and bite baseball. It's going to come back and bite baseball down the road because it's creating lack of depth. And they're promoting a lot of guys to the big league level that really don't know how to play. They're playing on their ability, not really understanding the game fully. And that's unfortunate for all of us. And it's also unfortunate that those 42 teams that were eliminated, that took away some semblance of professional baseball in those small towns all over America. And I got a big problem with that personally because I'm all about development. And I realize how difficult it is to develop and get to the big league level. It's really difficult. But we got 3 very talented kids in the Padre organization, 1, 2, and 3, Ethan Salas, Robbie Snelling, and Dylan Lesko. They're being challenged mentally right now. And you know what? That's not a bad thing because we're going to find out just how good they can be because you got to be mentally tough because you're going to run into these roadblocks along the way up the ladder to get to the big leagues. And hopefully we see them one of these days at Petco Park in a Padre uniform. But even though those numbers don't look very good right now, they're still down there working hard. They got to continue to work hard, and they got to battle through some adversity right now. In the long run, they'll only be better for it. Okay, let's talk about the pitching matchups. And really, I don't have a whole lot for you today. And the reason I don't is Mike Schilt doesn't really know who's pitching. I would imagine Dylan Cease is going to pitch either the first or second game. He was slotted to throw the game on Wednesday, but with Randy Vasquez kind of up in the air right now with that forearm, we're going to have to wait and see exactly where they go with that. But right now, Tuesday night, that game will be at 5:05. Boomer Spoch, you're going to send right-hander Nathan Eovaldi out. Eovaldi, we know how tough he is. He's 4-3 with a 3.45 ERA. On Wednesday night, another 5:05, the former Colorado Rocky right-hander John Gray, 3-4 and a 3.77. And on Thursday, going to be early morning on Firecracker July 4th, 11:35, right-hander Max Scherzer making his 3rd start of the year, a 1-1 and a 1.74. Scherzer's come back, throwing the ball very, very well, but we know in recent past, Padres have had some pretty good luck against Max Scherzer. So John Gray going on Wednesday, and the opening game on Tuesday will be Nathan Eovaldi. So Eovaldi, Gray, and Scherzer, and then we'll wait and see where the Padres are going with their rotation. Who knows? Maybe the Padres have something up their sleeve. Okay, I want to get to ask the coach, and these are questions that I get throughout the course of the week or emails, and I try to pull them off the best I can. The first one on Ask the Coach is Austin and El Cajon. Coach, what moves do you see the Padres making at the deadline? Well, Austin, first of all, we got till the end of the month. July 30th will be the final day to be able to make a trade. The last day in July, I believe it's 30 days in the month of July, okay? I would think right now, depending on Tatis, whether or not he's able to come back, they're going to have to be kind of canvassing the outfield and see who might be available out there. The other spot, again, you got to wonder about Darvish and Musgrove. Do the Padres think they can get through the rest of the year with what they have right now, or kind of razor thin in that starting rotation? And I also think that they probably need to take a look at a reliever. The relievers have been good, and their overall numbers are pretty good. But man, they have some blowups here and there. Not that other bullpens don't, but I'm not really concerned about other bullpens. I'm concerned with the Padres. So, Austin, to answer your question, I think you have to be kind of on the lookout of who might be available, and you're not going to pay a steep price to get an outfielder because you're hoping at some point Fernando's going to come back. But if he were to be out until August or September, because the other day, one of the doctors that was asked about Fernando's injury, it wasn't the team doctor, it was somebody, I think Kevin Acey had talked to, said that injury can take anywhere from 6 to 14 weeks. Padres are being optimistic right now and hoping he'll come back right after the All-Star break. We'll have to wait and see, and hopefully nobody else goes down. We know Xander Bogaerts is making good progress. Xander actually, I think, wanted to try to come back before the All-Star break, but we're getting pretty close to that. So you know what? It might be better for him. The way this team is playing right now, just kind of stay status quo and then activate him after. Give him that little extra time. There's nothing wrong with that. If anything, he can go down, play a couple of AAA games, get some at-bats in there, and then get back to the big leagues. If he hasn't seen any live pitching in a long period of time, and you're always looking for arms, whether they're starters or relievers, you're always looking for arms. Okay, the next one, Coach Don in Rancho Bernardo. Coach, thank you so much for starting this podcast. I've really missed you this baseball season. I started listening to you in 2004 when you did the Padres pre- and post-game show. I just wanted to let you know how much baseball you have taught me over those years. What happened to you was Bush League. Hope to hear you back on the radio Monday through Friday real soon. Well, Don, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a great deal. Boy, 2004 was a fun year. That was the first year Bob Scanlon got into broadcasting, and I was kind of the guy that was supposed to kind of teach Bob the ropes. And every time I see Bob on television now, I get a smile on my face because we had a lot of fun nights. He did the road post-game shows with me, and we did all the home post-game shows in 2004. We did them from the Manchester Grand Hyatt right there on Harbor Drive. And my partner, former Padre player, Padre coach, Giant third base coach Tim Flannery. Flan and I, we had some of those nights at the Manchester Grand were legendary. When the players would come down, hang out with us, they were something really special. I don't think that happens anymore. But we had a good relationship with all the ball players, and Scotty Linebrink and Brian Lawrence, late great Sean Burrows, Brian Giles, Rich Aurelio when he became a Padre. He came down. We had so many guys come down. It was really fun. We even got the umpire Joe West to come down and be a part of the show one night. It was a lot of fun. So, Don, thank you very much. Tanya, Point Loma, Coach, you're the best. Hope to hear you for many more years. P.S. You're always fired up and ready to go. Well, Tanya, thanks. I love the game. I love sports. And I'm always pretty much raring to go. There's no doubt about that. So those are Ask the Coach. If you want to get something to me, you can do it direct message on X or Facebook. But again, we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers now. Can you help me out a little bit? And again, make sure you hit those notifications as well so you don't miss any of our episodes. Okay, last thing I want to get to here. I didn't get a chance the other night to watch the first round of the NBA draft, but I really, on Thursday, I hunkered down because I wanted to see if Bronny James was going to get taken overall 55th by the Lakers, and they took Bronny James. I do have a comment on that in a minute, but I want to talk about a couple of local guys. Jaedon LeDee, the big star forward of the Aztecs. I mean, All-American, had a great year, won the Karl Malone Award for being the top forward. He didn't get drafted. And I'll be honest, I'm not surprised. It is so hard to get drafted in the NBA. And even if you get drafted, I mean, even the first round guys, they have a hard time. A lot of those guys end up being role players. It's so hard. And then you get to the second round, and those are non-guaranteed contracts. A lot of guys will sign two-way contracts where they're playing in the G League, and then they get called up to the big team. And we'll see where that goes for Bronny James. But I do want to mention him a little more here in a minute. But Jaedon LeDee ended up signing a deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves, going to play in Summer League and nothing guaranteed. I mean, if he doesn't get signed by Minnesota after Summer League, maybe somebody else will pick him up. Clippers, you might want to pick him up. Let him play up in Oceanside since they're moving the Clipper franchise from Ontario to Oceanside to the Front Wave Arena. Wouldn't that be nice if you're an Aztec fan to go up the freeway on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday night if the Aztecs weren't playing and see Jaedon LeDee playing in the G League for the San Diego Clippers? I was thinking about it. That'd be kind of cool. In fact, I'm pretty excited about the G League coming. I'm looking forward to going up to that arena. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the Sockers are going to play there, and other teams are going to play there. It'll be kind of cool. And I got to tell you, when I was the president of operations and general manager of the Sockers, Phil Salvaggio and Phil wanted to build this arena, and I was the first guy that rode in a car with Phil. Him and I walked the property, and then a couple of years later, I bowed out of the Sockers to get into the agent business and then back into the radio business. But I'm really excited. But I'm excited about the Clippers G League team. That'll be a lot of fun. And maybe Jaedon LeDee, if things don't work out in Minnesota, maybe he'll end up with the Clippers. I could only hope that. But I wish him the best. Great kid, hardworking kid, very polite young man. I love how hard he works. I mean, the guy was a tireless worker. He was a marked man for the Aztecs and played great basketball. The other guy who had a great career at San Diego State and had a great one-year career at Arizona, Keshad Johnson, the big forward. He went undrafted as well. He raised his stock, though, because he started shooting the basketball. They worked with him on his shot a little bit, and he started doing a lot better. He got taken as a free agent by the Miami Heat. So we wish Keshad Johnson the best of luck. I think they gave him a two-way contract, I believe. So that means he got a contract that's split between the G League and between the Miami Heat. So we'll see how he projects. A lot of times in the NBA, it's all about matchups. If you got a certain skill set against this team, you're in. If you don't, you ride the pine. But as long as the guys will play hard, work hard, don't be a problem, I think they're going to be fine. That's what happens when you're kind of the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th guy on an NBA team. You got to practice hard. You got to know your role. You got to accept your role and not be a pain. And, both these guys, whether they're in the NBA or the G League, they're going to make money. They can go to Europe and play. These guys are talented players. There's a lot of countries that play professional basketball. These guys are going to be able to make a living, for, 8-10 years probably, stay healthy. They're going to be able to make a nice living for them and their family. But hopefully they're making that in the NBA. But two good kids, and it's unfortunate that they didn't get drafted, but nonetheless, they're going to get that opportunity. And if they're as good as I think they are, I think there's going to be a spot for them in the NBA. They're not going to be big stars in the NBA, but they're certainly going to have an opportunity, I think, to showcase what they can do. And I think both guys will showcase very, very well. The thing I wanted to say about Bronny James. Bronny James is a good kid. I know a lot of guys in Los Angeles. I know guys that cover USC. Bronny James is a good kid. And, whether you like LeBron or not, I enjoy watching LeBron. I don't know LeBron from a can of paint. I saw him play in high school at Pauley Pavilion one night. I drove up there because I wanted to see him play when he was in high school. I followed him his entire career. I was excited when he came to the Lakers. Still an unbelievable player. Going to be 40 years of age. What's he going into his 22nd year in the NBA? It's amazing how this guy able to get it done. He takes care of himself. He's a hardworking guy. But everybody I talked to in Los Angeles regarding Bronny James, great kid. And I'm pulling for him. I went out on Twitter. I know a lot of people are taking shots at him. Hey, nepotism. I got news for you on nepotism. It happens in every walk of life, and it really happens more than you realize in sports, in all sports. It happens in radio. It happens in business. It just happens. It happens in Little League Baseball. Okay? It happens in everything. Bronny James, good kid, overcome a cardiac arrest, had a heart procedure, got a slow start at USC. The guy can play defense. He can pass the basketball. I don't know where his career is going to go. I don't know if he's going to make the Laker roster, if he's going to play for the South Bay Lakers. I don't know. But you know what? Let's give this kid a chance. This kid has to have a lot of shots taken at him. He's got to have a thick skin. But you know what? We got to treat this kid as a 19-year-old kid, and that he's not LeBron James's son. Okay? He has afforded a lot of opportunities that you and I weren't afforded, but he doesn't act like that with his teammates. He goes about his business. He just wants to play some basketball. He loves the game like his dad. Let's give this kid a chance. I don't know if he can play at the NBA level. I think he's got some skills. Got good feet, passes the ball well, and plays defense. If he can hit the open three-pointer down the road, then he could probably find a spot in the NBA, whether it's with the Lakers or somebody else. Let's give this kid a chance. I mean, for him to walk out on the court after having a cardiac arrest, having a heart procedure, I give that kid a lot of credit. I had a heart attack, a lot of you know, back in 2009. I almost walked away from radio. I didn't know if I could do it any longer. And it took me about 5 weeks to get my mentally, I had to get back. And some of my friends in radio had been fired in 2009. I wasn't happy about it. And I was doing 17 radio shows a day between a talk show, the Padres pre and post game show, a show with Bob Scanlon on Saturday mornings. I had a heart attack. I had a heart attack, did a show with Bob Scanlon, and I already had the heart attack and drove home after I'd had the heart attack at 5 in the morning. They traced it back to 5 in the morning. And then I went and did a show with Bob from 10 to 12 and was going to go do another show at Petco Park when my wife said, hey, we need to go to the hospital. 45 minutes later, they said, hey, you had a heart attack. You're going into surgery. Mentally, it's tough. It's like a guy coming back from a blown out knee. First couple times you go and try to explode going to the basket, you're worried your leg's going to explode again. And for Bronny James to even get back on the court last year at SC, I give that kid a lot of credit, a lot of intestinal fortitude. So I'm pulling for him. I pull for the underdog. I'm one of those guys. I'm a blue collar guy, if you haven't figured that out by now. And I like guys to play with their heart and their mind and the best of their ability. You're not going to always win, but you know what? Make them beat you. Don't beat yourself. So I'm pulling for Bronny. I'm pulling for Jaedon and Keshad, and hope they do well. Hope you enjoyed our podcast. Again, happy as a clam right now with our San Diego Padres. They're playing great baseball. And a well-deserved day off. Well-deserved day off. And just a couple of other quick notes I wanted to share with you. The Padres, in April, they were 12-15. May, they were 16-11. And in June, even though they won 9 of their last 11 games, they finished only 2 games over 500 at 15-13. Their road trip, obviously, 2-1 with 3 games to be played in Texas. Their overall record now, 46-42. Road record sitting at 22-20. Their Petco Park record's 24-22. The other note that I think is very interesting, maybe because the weather's starting to heat up. In the month of April, the Padres hit 25 home runs. In the month of May, they hit 32. In the month of June, they dialed one quite a bit. They went over the boards 42 times in the month of June. Can I hope for 52? I'm getting a little greedy now, but I'm really happy about the way our Padres are playing, folks. So, hey, have a great week. Again, we'll have our next podcast up mid-morning on July 5th. Have a great and safe July 4th. Until then, This is Coach John Quintero. Thanks for tuning in to San Diego Sports Talk, the Coach John Quintero Show. And make sure you can follow me on Facebook at John Quintero or on X at Coach Quintero 44. Make sure you subscribe and hit those notifications. Bye-bye.